Amber Heard has been testifying on one of the more bizarre aspects of the Depp Heard case, Poopgate. So let's ask, what does all this mean? And crucially, can any dog make a feces that look like a person done it? Hello, you 5.6 million awakening wonders. I'm so happy we get to share this voyage together. Here we are, temporarily aware, within the limitless, a point of attention amongst apparently endless consciousness. Does consciousness come from matter? Does matter come from consciousness? But before we resolve the mysteries of consciousness, what done that poo on Johnny Depp's bed? A person or a dog? This we must truly discover. I'd like you to remember as well, by the way, that war in Ukraine is still happening. We're still reeling from the consequences of the pandemic and the questions that it's brought to our attention. We have fundamental questions to ask one another about the nature of reality, systemic corruption, the way we organise our societies, the way we relate to one another, the way we overcome the tensions between progressivism and traditionalism. But let's put all of that to one side. Who or what done that poo on that pillow? Oh, what, a person? Or was it a dog? Who done that? Order, silence in court.
Amber Heard has denied that she left feces in a bed she shared with her ex-husband Johnny Depp while testifying in court on Monday.
Then I will draw your attention to clause 47B. She what denied it, supplied it.
The alleged incident happened after a night of arguing between the pair in April 2016 regarding her 30th birthday party.
I want a mermaid theme for my 30th. No, come on, let's go for a pirates theme. Mermaid pirates, mermaid pirates. I'll show you. Allegedly.
The 50-year-old actor previously testified that he saw a picture of, quote, fecal matter on the bed and said he believed Heard had defecated on his side of the bed in court.
I like watching Johnny Depp's testimony because it's such a sort of a low-key sort of rumbling, isn't it? Unlike the cacophony that he finds on his pillow, which is a high-pitched squeak.
He also claimed she tried to blame their dogs for the incident. But on Monday, Heard pushed back on his claim.
Pushback?
Heard pushed back on his claim.
It's a bit late for pushback. You should have thought about that at the time.
Saying one of the dogs had bowel control issues.
If you're going to do a poo on someone's pillow, at least take credit for it. Don't do a poo on someone's pillow and go, I think it was the window cleaner. I see some lads in here earlier. Shifty looking they was. You've just discredited the whole point of the poo. What's the point of the poo? If the poo's some sort of protest, stand by it. Stand by your poo. Now, I know some of you think that this case is important because it represents a pivotal shift in the attitudes around the evolving sex, gender abuse dynamic that the last 5 years has seen play out. Some people think that, that men can, of course, be victims of abuse, and it seems pretty obvious that men can be victims of abuse, that this is an opportunity to review the assumption that guilt and innocence can be determined on the basis of sex or gender. So there are sort of subtexts that are a window, I suppose, to ongoing cultural arguments, and anything that's refracted through the prism of celebrity acquires on the way all kinds of peculiar light. I suppose the thing that I try to keep in my mind is Johnny Depp is a human being and a beautiful one. Amber Heard is a beautiful human being, would be my assumption. They're in a sort of a really ugly and complicated situation, and celebrity turns everything into a kind of unknowable maelstrom of shit and glitter.
She had eaten Johnny's weed when she was a puppy and had bowel control issues.
It's like a backstory for a dog superhero. This little dog, when it was a baby, ate some radioactive Johnny Depp weed, and that's what made it shit on the pillow, puppy. I've only got limited powers, really. I mean, basically, when these two row, I take a shit on the pillow. That's basically it. Well, are you going to do anything about the Green Goblin? If it's a Green Goblin you're after, take a look on that throw cushion.
She had eaten Johnny's weed when she was a puppy and had bowel control issues for her entire life, among some other issues. She was, we regularly had to take her to the vet.
I like the way that sort of the lawyer and Amber Heard have clearly tried to stitch Johnny Depp's addiction and negligence into the sort of alibi for a shit pillow. Well, as you know, Johnny Depp, he's always on drugs, and that leaves his drugs lying about. The dog ate some drugs when it was a baby. It means it just shits everywhere. What I can't get over is that their relationship deteriorated to the point where they were communicating via feces, allegedly. And then, then there's a denial of that, and then it has to be sort of discussed at length. Now, I know some of you think, well, you're doing it. I'm doing it sort of for entertainment. And I'm going to continually remind myself, Johnny Depp's a human being, Amber Heard's a human being, and I know people that know Johnny Depp and stuff, and he's apparently a really, really lovely guy. And I know people who know Amber Heard, actually, who say that she's a really lovely person. So, I'm trying to stay out of the judgment of the individual human beings. No one ever gets better from being judged, which makes the whole court proceeding situation pretty ironic. But this is what interests me. What is our culture? Do you think now that your culture is going to provide answers for you? Because this is your culture. This is your culture. There are people in this world that believe deeply in God. There are people in this world that believe deeply in tradition. There are people that have psychic connections to the earth. People that understand the cosmos and its ancient requiems and its symphonic movements. And here, our collective attention has been captured by a shit on a pillow.
To try to figure out, well, what was wrong with this dog?
This situation is absurd, and I use the word absurd in its literal sense because you're watching it be refracted through 3 separate lenses. Lens 1, Hollywood, stardom, celebrity, the confection and bizarreness that entails. Lens 2, courtrooms with all their protocols, silencing court, objection, Your Honour, overruled, hearsay, all these weird languages and tics. It's a form of theatre in itself, isn't it? It's social theatre, beset with protocols and rules. And then tier 3, the third lens, is celebrity TV. Hello, on Entertainment Tonight, we look at the Depp Heard case. There's been a poop on a pillow. Silence in court. Objection, Your Honor. Who denied it, supplied it. He who smelled it, dealt it. Okay, over live to the studio. The pup looks like it's straining. It's a teacup pup. Has it done a pup in the teacup? Yep, there's a pup in it. Like, how many layers of reality can you deal with before you start thinking, should we start again? Should we start all reality again? Let's go back to a single cellular being and we'll cultivate it in a petri dish and let's not end up here. Like, for this to happen, there had to be the Big Bang, the formation of single cellular life, the whole history of evolution, culture, architecture, Sir Christopher Wren, George Washington, Nina Simone, all these things swirling right down to silence in court. Ooh.
Well, what was wrong with this dog? Never met a dog that was quite like this.
I've never met a dog like it. I mean, it's not that weird of a thing, is it? I mean, the only distinction or peculiarity is the location of the stool, if indeed it was the dog. I mean, it's not weird. Like, the dog's not like smoking cigarettes or riding a unicycle or designing buildings or like firing guns or playing basketball. It just done a shit somewhere where it weren't meant to and maybe ate something that it shouldn't. That's basically all dogs. It's not like when you come in, hello, yes, nice to meet you. I'll be taking some shits on soft furnishings all around here. Excuse me, Amber, I'm gonna... Vanessa Paladios! This is awkward, blimey. It's just a normal dog that shat somewhere unusual, allegedly.
So she had some control issues.
Now we've gone through the lens of Hollywood, courtroom drama, Access TV, dog psychiatry. Like, where are we now? This is taking place within the limitless, in a world where or in a universe where there's quantum entanglement, where the charge of an electron simultaneously affects an electronic particle like light years away simultaneously. Reality is more bizarre than we can ever begin to imagine. So I suppose we have a kind of obligation not to take things too seriously and to recognize that in our finite lives we have a unique opportunity to imagine new realities into being, both personally and collectively. Can we create a better world than this? It's like reality is trying to tell us that everything's gone mad in the form of this court case. It's like, listen guys, like if you didn't get the Ukraine war and the pandemic and that, would this shit on a pillow help you? No, we're carrying on. Things are fine.
So she had some control issues.
I think that dog's in danger of being radically anthropomorphized. The dog's not got control issues. We'll see who's boss around here. See who's in charge once I take a shit on the pillow, shall we? The dog's just being a dog. It's not a gesture for the dog. It's not Jackson Pollock. It's like, huh? There, now do you understand me? I think what the dog did is it probably got married because it was blinded by celebrity. Then it sort of started to realize that human beings are kind of complex and nobody's perfect. And then the dogs thought, I don't know, maybe I should go out with a billionaire tech genius. And then maybe the dogs after that, it's just thought this has all gotten too much and just took a shit in the pillow. We still talking about the dog? What now?
When asked if the incident was a prank, she responded,
Absolutely not.
And why would that not be something you would do?
You know, the judiciary and judicial systems have been conceived and refined over thousands of years of democracy. What is justice? Ah, King Solomon, Solomon's wisdom. Well, then we will cut the shit in half, because only the true mother of the shit would allow. Like, at what point are we at? Someone's asking, and would you tell me in 25 words or less, without using hearsay, why you would not shit on a pillow? And what if you do a wee as well as a poo, when both of your sphincters relax simultaneously? God bless you, Justice. Da, 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 da.
First of all, I don't think that's funny.
We can watch humanity's descent into hell by observing the strata of judicial cases. Layer 1, the grassy knoll. I put it to you, there was a man on the grassy knoll that Oswald could not have fired from the repository. Layer 2, the glove. If the glove doesn't fit, you have to acquit. Could it have been OJ? Was it OJ? Wasn't OJ? Layer 3, and I would say we're finally at Dante's icy hell now, is if there's a shit on the bed, civilization is dead. There is no lower we can go. We have finally surely arrived at the epicenter of human inanity.
I don't know what a grown woman does.
Maybe when I was a coquettish thing, a girl of 18, sure, I had a shat on a pillow then. Shit pillows was my bread and butter then. Objection! You do not put shit on bread and butter. Overruled! You could have a shit sandwich.
She also added in court that Depp tried to accuse her of having one of her friends defecate in the bed as a prank.
Could one of your friends have done the shit on the bed? What, you mean like a shit of solidarity? Yes, exactly. Overruled!
And this prank that he said one of my friends had left for him in my bed that he wasn't going to be at. And I tried to point out how that didn't make any sense.
Nothing makes sense anymore. Nothing makes any sense. Reality don't make any sense. The last 2 years don't make any sense. War don't make any sense. Democracy don't make any sense. Whether it was a dog or a friend or a film star that shat on that bed, nothing makes any sense. I say it's a page 1 rewrite on reality.
And my friends wouldn't do that. That's not something a bunch of 30-year-old women think is funny. What is he talking about?
A bunch of 30-year-old women and 1 cup.
And he just kept going on and on about it.
Heard and Depp met on the set of their 2011 film, The Rum Diary.
Like, how can you reimpose, how can you reinstate the glamour after that? The glamour is over. Again, as I say, I like Johnny Depp. I'm not dissing Johnny Depp. I don't know Amber Heard. I'm sure they're all good human beings. But how do we reinflate the spectacle after this? But we will somehow, you know. I bet there'll be a point where you see like everyone on chat shows and talk shows and like, well, you know, I did this and that. And like, yeah, well, me, whatever. And you're like, but how can you sort of force your mind back into the illusion? Can you?
They got married in 2015 and broke up in May 2016.
That screen wipe noise, shouldn't it be? Now, this trial contains a lot of humorous information. A lot of you, though, will have been victims of domestic abuse of various types, and this perhaps presents for you an opportunity to catharsize some of your own feelings around abuse and a different type of conversation through the lens of celebrity to look at your own feelings and the complexity of male-female dynamics and the idea of truth, integrity, authenticity, victimhood, and blame. And of course, I'm in no position to deny you that possibility or the potential to metabolize your own feelings through this trial. I bet it's probably useful. Let me know in the comments below if that is how you see this. What I'm interested in, though, is a culture that is deteriorating and the ridiculousness of this spectacle.
The trial resumed on Monday after taking a week break and is expected to last several more weeks.
So there you have it. There will be a few more weeks of this drama and ultimately a conclusion. I suppose that's what's satisfying and exciting for people in some ways, that it's like a sporting event. Now, I know many of you have experienced domestic abuse, as I've said, and that is a very, very serious subject and a subject that should be dealt with in particular and specific forums, through group therapy, through the advice of experts, through the compassion that we can offer one another. And if this trial is helpful for you in processing those feelings, I think that's fantastic. What fascinates me, though, is how all things can be entertainment now, that justice injustice can be entertainment, that abuse can be entertainment, that people's breakups can be entertainment, that all of it passes through the glittering lens of celebrity and spectacle. What is the function of it? What does it do to you? Where does it take you emotionally? How does it serve the interests of the powerful? Those are the kind of questions that interest me when I'm approaching any subject in the media. What is its function? How does it work? Something like this, I would say, primarily operates as a kind of distraction, that it's somewhat dehumanizing. If you have a different perspective, I welcome your different perspectives. Let me know in the comments below what you think about it. If you enjoyed this video, have a look at either of these two videos. If you're not a member of my mailing list, sign up right now to come to the one-day event with Vandana Shiva and Wim Hof on July the 10th, a fantastic one-day event in the UK. Tickets are limited and I'm only going to give them to people that sign up to my mailing list, so do that now. More important than any of that though, please stay free.